And what's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another UCF Jaguar live stream. Hopefully my audio is good. Yep, that is good. And the headset is good. All right, let me test this. Boom. All right, we got it. What's up, guys? Welcome into another stream, man. This stream came out on me quick, man. Shout out to Bishop, Super Gamer, Swift, Austin, Monnier Duval is in the building. What's up, White Dog? Hey, it was good meeting you at the Texans game. He saw me up at the top deck, came down, said what's up. David Bryant in the building. What's up, my man? We got Alejandro in here too. What's up, bro? But guys, by the way, we do have Jason coming on and joining the show. Oh, let's bring him. He just joined. Let's bring him in. What's up, Jason?
Wow, that timing is perfect.
I know, dude. I mentioned you, and then boom, you pop up.
my ears. What's the phrase? My ears were itching. I don't know.
I don't know, something like that. I'll let you come up with it, and we'll go with it. dude, but what's happening, man? How you been?
Dude, pretty good, man. Had a great time at the game. Wish we would have won, but you know, got to be at the stadium, so that was fun.
Yeah, it's always good to be back in the game day atmosphere. The game started off pretty fun though, man. How about that first drive?
Dude, that first drive, like I was like, here we go. We're about to do something here. You know, made some plays. The penalty kind of helped us there, but man, that throw to Marvin Jones was top tier, if I must say myself. Rest of the game, though, I don't know, got a little iffy. But between the rain and the runs to the Bud Zone, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, but we do have a chance to rebound this next week. Charlie Boy says, "Hello, what's up, guys? Trap game for you guys." You know, it's funny. This game, when I look at the Jaguar schedule, I don't know why, but this is the game that I'm most scared about because, like, dude, I just don't know. With Kyler Murray, they got DeAndre Hopkins, they got Rondale Moore. With all the stuff going on with their offense, like we're going to have to get in a shootout with them. And right now, our offense, I would say it has the potential for it. We can score points. Like we have the players, I think we have the quarterback, but is it going to happen? You know, we have to see it happen before we can call for it.
I mean, I know this is going to blow your mind, but they signed a pretty high-profile wide receiver. They drafted receivers early in their draft, and now they have 4 wide receivers better than our number one. So that kind of explains it all to me. That's all I need to. Yeah. That's all I need to see.
It was funny. I was actually literally 45 minutes ago. I was actually on a Arizona Cardinals radio show,
nice.
And I was telling him, I was like, dude, you guys probably have at least 3 wide receivers better than our top guy. It's just they prioritized it, man. I mean, they went out and obviously they made the trade for DeAndre Hopkins. They go out and they draft Rondale Moore in the second round. You know, they take a flyer on AJ Green, who, I mean, he probably only went there because they had the chance to win, which, you know, we don't have that, you know, tip of the cap for. But yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of things going on offense, and Christian Kirk too. I mean, it's a lot, man. It's almost too much. But really, the way the only way the Jaguars can really win this is they have to get the run game going, because what the Jaguars do, they have to get a lead. They have to be able to kind of bleed clock a little bit. I mean, we can't just be passing the ball, stopping the clock, letting, you know, Kyler Murray come in there and you know, kind of cook us. And I mean, we also have to execute, man. I don't want to see any more drop passes from our wide receivers like Josh Lambo. These kicks are killing us because not only are we leaving points on the board, we're also giving them the ball in awesome field position. It's just, you know, we have to do better just as a team.
I got a couple things to say about this. Okay, so first, not good news. The Cardinals did a pretty decent job they won against Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook. And I don't think James Robinson and the Jaguars offensive line is going to come in here and do something that they are not expecting. If they can win against Dalvin and Derrick Henry, I don't think we really have a chance to run the ball against them. I mean, I think their run defense is better than the stats show. I mean, they literally went up against 2 of the best running backs in the league in back-to-back weeks. As far as kicking woes, Josh Lambo's got to make those. But if you average the distance of his 3 missed kicks, it was like 50 yards. So, like, it's not that he's missing chip shots and extra points. Like, he's missing like 50-yarders, which I'm okay with hesitating judgment. That's all I'm going to say. He needs to make them, but if he's going to miss some 50-yarders, like I'm okay with that. The field
But
position
something's
sucks.
weird though. It's just weird though how he never has missed a kick at TIAA Bank. And
Well, I
then
mean,
he missed his first 2 kicks this game, and he's coming off of a bad preseason, bad training camp, and then now he's over 3 on kicks this season, and like these are kicks that he usually makes. So something is going on beyond having a rough season. I think it's a mixture of maybe he still isn't completely confident with his kicking leg, and then that's getting up in his head. I mean, the first kick that was embarrassing. It was nowhere close. It was just pathetic looking. And I don't know. It's just obviously, he's getting his 3rd game right now because he is Josh Lambo. I almost wonder, like, are we able just to put him on the IR and just like save him this year and try to help him recover? Because I don't know what to do with him.
I don't think we saw last year the carousel of kickers we went through. Like, you're not going to be able to get a kicker in free agency that's going to be better than Lambo. Like, I know that we want him to make these kicks, but I mean, how many kickers did we go through last year? I mean, he's coming off the injury
6.
last year. I don't think you're going to do much better. An Aldrich Rosas is probably your best option, and that's your best option.
He's on the Saints.
Well, did he get cut? I thought that they were just holding him until Lutz.
Did he get cut? I don't know. Lutz was.
Well, I think they just signed him because Lutz was out for a game or something like that in the preseason or something like that. But I mean, here's something that people aren't thinking about either. Like kicker, like Josh Lambo wasn't the only kicker to have a miscue last game. McManus for the Broncos on a kickoff miskicked it. Agnew was able to return it for a touchdown. That was a touchdown that resulted in a missed kick. So missed kicks happen, and it happened in the NFL. It literally was a missed kick happened in our game, but it just sucks when you leave points on the board that could have maybe kept you in the game. I get it, but I'm not really worried about Lambo, I guess would be what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just worried because he missed. I think he missed at least 1 kick in the preseason, and also he was struggling in training camp, and this isn't just had an off day type of thing. I mean, he's having an off 2021 in general. So, I mean, they're going to give him another shot. I mean, if he goes over 2 again, I mean, you can't. I don't care what the name is, man. You just can't. And sometimes these guys, we saw with Josh Lambo, he wasn't very good on the Chargers, and he goes to then he goes over to the what was it? He comes to the Jaguars and does good. And also with Jason Myers, not good on the Jaguars, goes to the Jets and is and the Seahawks is pretty good. Sometimes I don't know what it is with kickers. I mean, there's very few kickers that are on a team their whole entire career. You know what I mean? I think the one that came closest to that was Sebastian Janikowski, but even him, he ended off his career not on the Raiders. So I mean, and we'll see with Justin Tucker. I mean, if Justin Tucker goes out and 4 games straight misses all his kicks, you know what I mean? They're not going to wait around for him either. It's just tough, man.
Well, I mean, people would be surprised how closely a field goal kick and a golf swing are. They're very technical. You have to be very regimented, doing the same thing every time. And like a golf swing, sometimes it's just not there for a little bit. I mean, it's the same thing. You're swinging your leg in a very similar motion. And sometimes these guys just go through times where they're not kicking the ball well. And I mean, Lambo's coming off of a season where he didn't play that much last year. So, if there's a time that he's going to be inconsistent, it would probably be now. But I mean, you're right. I mean, it doesn't matter the nature of the position. If you have a bad streak, you're gone. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
And it just stinks because if a starting quarterback is kind of not doing good, you can sit him behind a backup and let him kind of do a little bit. But with kickers, it's you only have spot for 1 kicker on the roster. And it's you would hate to let Josh Lambo go. You go through a kicking carousel, a team kind of picks him up, but then he goes right back out and he's dominant for them. And that'd be the biggest egg in the face of the Jaguars. But it's we're in we're in a really tough position right now. And I mean, I hope, people are coming at me on Twitter, dude, you just hate on players like crazy. I mean, maybe my Gardner Minshew hate was a little bit, maybe it was a little bit excessive, but come on, man, I'm being fair about Lambo. I mean, if you're not going to make your kicks, I mean, there's not much room for you because those 2 kicks in that first half that changed the game, man. I mean, at the very least, make one of them and it's a tie game at the half. But missing both of those, and when you miss those kicks, then the Jaguars so far just been getting dominated in the field position battle. It's like, the only way the Jaguars are getting the ball right now are off of kicks and punts. While other teams that we're playing, they're getting the ball off interceptions.
Yeah.
We've been getting missed field goals, and they've been starting off with good field position. Like, we just haven't been helping ourselves in the field position category. And then, and like Teddy Bridgewater last game, he didn't even have that good of a game, dude. If he was a good quarterback, a great quarterback, dude, they'd tear us apart because he was missing some throws. And that's just kind of what's scary about this coming up game.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line, which sucks to say, just roster is just not very good. It's just not a good roster. Like, we love the guys, we know them, we see them up close and personal, but talent-wise, NFL-wise, they're just not very good. And if this team is to make a run in the next couple of years and they end up being a good playoff team, we're going to look back at this year and there's going to be a lot of guys that are starting now that would not be on the team. So I think it's what you have to keep in perspective. We have guys that are promising and young and talented. Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence. I still have hope for Laviska. We've seen what can happen when a very good player is playing next to another very good player. It elevates both of their games. So I think in the future, these guys like Josh Allen, Laviska, Trevor Lawrence, these young guys, when they get next to another good player, they're just going to take that next step. And then now this roster is just very talented. That's how it works in the NFL. That's why there's such a disparity between good teams and bad teams, is because playing next to a good player can really, really help you.
Yeah, and that's what's and when you look at this team right now, some ways we got to improve. We have to find another pass rusher to go with Josh Allen, because Josh Allen's been a beast this year, but you need two guys. Be a good team, you need two guys. And also on a wide receiver core, man, like, we have to. And I remember, I'm not going to sit here and trade for Michael Thomas. I remember telling people, I'm like, look, like, our receiving core is not that good. Like, you can't sit here and tell me we don't need a Michael Thomas. And now we're seeing this play out. We have to find a way. We have to find a way to get a really good wide receiver in here. I don't know if it's going to come through, a lot of these free. Like Devontae Adams and Al Robinson are set to be free agents, but a lot of times those guys don't make it there. So I don't know if it's going to be through like a sign and trade type of thing. Like, I don't know what it would take to, if Michael Thomas doesn't work out for the Saints, if we can get him in here. But like, we have to like find, a top 10 wide receiver. You know what I mean? Look what DeAndre Hopkins did to the Cardinals, and look what he left behind from the Texans. They are different without him. You look around all these teams, man, all these great quarterbacks, they have a great wide receiver who, if all else fails, they know that they can throw the ball up and those guys are going to be open. And, right now, Trevor Lawrence, the only guy he really seems to have any good connection with is Marvin Jones. And it stinks. Like, and when you look at a Travis Etienne injury, it's like, man, we're losing, a great player, but you're also losing a guy that has a connection with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, like, and him, they know each other, they feed off each other. Like, and, right now, the only guy, like that touchdown throw to Marvin Jones, he wasn't necessarily open, but he threw him open. Marvin Jones was able to create some separation, and then, they got the touchdown. You don't see that going on with any of the other receivers.
Yeah, you have to be able to win one-on-ones in the NFL, and we don't have any receivers that win one-on-ones. Marvin Jones can win them. If the ball's thrown perfectly, he'll win one-on-ones. Chark used to, but he doesn't anymore. Laviska, I don't know. But, the reason why I say this is because I went back and watched the film, and the whole time, the Broncos are playing like 8 guys in the box. They would show every play. They would show a cover two high safeties, and at the snap, they would roll a guy down in the middle of the field. Every single play. Like, they were daring the Jaguars to beat them one-on-one on the sidelines. And the difference is good teams do that. If you ran that defense against Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, they would just hit their receivers down the sideline all game. And you would have to switch into like a zone coverage and play more guys in the secondary. But teams don't have to do that against Jacksonville. So they're loading the box up. And people are getting mad that we're not running James Robinson. And I get that, but I also get why the Jaguars aren't. Because they're daring us to throw. They're saying your receiver cannot beat our corner one-on-one. In today's modern NFL, you should be able to do that. and we have no receivers that win one-on-ones. Trevor has to literally throw a perfect ball that only his guy can get. He has no one that can get a jump ball. He has no one that can like come back to the ball and get a curl. Like there's just the receivers are just horrible. They're just not good. And like Marvin Jones, DJ Chark, and Laviska Shenault are all really good threes on another team and like decent twos. And that's just where we're at. Like what I was saying. Love the Jags. Hopeful for the future, but this roster is just not very good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like we just and me like if these receivers, I don't like the offensive scheme right now. I don't like because the receivers aren't getting open. So why don't we do something to get them open? Like if you look at the Jaguars against the Texans were like, it was like, dude, how is this guy wide open? And it's like, oh, they ran crosser. You know what I mean? They were setting picks. They were getting guys open. Like we need to scheme ways to get these receivers open and not just be like, all right, run a fly down the sidelines and we'll see what happens. Cause like it's just, I don't think. And it stinks because like right now with the Jaguars offense, so many things are going wrong. Trevor Lawrence has been kind of inaccurate. The run game, we're not running the ball much right now. You have receivers not getting open. You have, we're handcuffing the offense a little bit with this offensive play calling in a way. Like it's just a bunch of different stuff, and it's hard to pinpoint one thing. But I'm just hoping at some point, this all kind of goes into cohesive unit, and then we can actually start rolling.
I think as Trevor Lawrence matures, we'll see the offense improve for sure. I think that's one of the biggest factors about everything, besides not having talent, is Trevor Lawrence is so young. Young quarterbacks are going to do young quarterback things, and we're just seeing Trevor do all those typical things. I'm just glad that he's trying to throw the ball down the field, to be honest.
Yeah, big time. Big shout out to Steve Boston with the $5 donation.
Steve.
Trevor's having issues against his own coverage. Texans ran it, and Broncos switched to it after the first drive. Yeah, he right now, I mean, Trevor's doing a lot of learning, and it's nice to see him in a press conferences because he's like, he understands. He's like, look, like I understand, like, I got to do this and this better, but we're gonna get it good. I mean, it's very reassuring. And the cool thing about him is like, it's so hard because I remember with Gardner Minshew, his stats looked awesome. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't throwing picks, but it was like he's not throwing the ball downfield. He's not trying out different things. I'd rather Trevor Lawrence right now see what he can get away with and then learn from it because that throw to the tight end that got intercepted, the Luke Farrell, where he was like wide open and he waited a while to throw it. He's not doing that 2 years from now. You know what I mean? I mean, there are different things that he's doing. Maybe like he knows that, okay, he's throwing the ball to the guy down the field. Later on, he's going to know, okay, I'm just going to take this check down. This is going to be, results in a first down. Maybe this is better unless they have this kind of separation. He's going to understand and also understand when to use his legs more. He's doing a lot of learning. And honestly, when he played at Clemson, the ACC was not very good. I mean, a lot of people knock Zach Wilson for not really playing anybody. But I mean, for the majority of the time, 90% of the time, Trevor Lawrence is playing against kind of trash teams. So he's still doing a lot of learning. And I'm really using these first 4 games as a measuring stick for him. And then I'll see later on, okay, what is he improving on from the first quarter of the season?
What makes me optimistic is there's things that he does that are not common and things you can't teach. Like his ability to sense pressure in the pocket is like honestly some of the it's top tier. Like his ability to like feel the pressure from one side, keep his like stance like ready to throw, and his footwork getting away from the pressure. He can move in any direction really fast. And that's a good sign of a quarterback who can sense pressure and has good feet. Those are things that are hard to teach. Like those are things that Gardner was horrible at. And then you combine the fact that Trevor has a huge arm and he's willing to take throws down the field and he's tall and he can see over the offensive line. Those are all things that you cannot teach. You can teach a quarterback to read his own defense. You can teach a quarterback to take the safe throw rather than go deep. You cannot teach those things. That's why Trevor was #1 overall pick. And that's why everyone knew who's been #1 overall pick for years.
And shout out to Jacob McDonald. He says, will Chandler Jones sack Trev? If so, how many times? I brought this up because there's one pretty positive stat about the Jaguars. The Jaguars have given up the least amount of sacks of any NFL team this year. So much for how bad this offensive line is. And that's also a testament to Trevor Lawrence, man. He's sensing pressure. He's moving around good. Like you said, with the pocket presence. And I mean, some of these he might be, maybe that's kind of leading to a lower completion percentage, but you know, I mean, that's been one positive thing. The offensive line, I think, has been better, got a lot better last game. And I think it's been a lot better that, you know, this offensive line has been kind of a pretty good surprise.
I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the season we look back and Chandler Jones had like 7 or 8 sacks. Like I like Chandler Jones, but I think the 5-sack game like really boosted him in people's minds. And like Chandler Jones has been around for a long time. Like he's been good for a long time. Like, but he is what he is. Like I've known about Chandler Jones as a good football player. He's not a guy that's gonna. I mean, he's not. They got J.J. Watt too. Like I know he's at the tail end. I'm more scared of Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons has been playing great this year. A guy that everybody counted out as being a
And
bust.
he knows Trevor.
I mean, Isaiah Simmons has been playing great. I think he's been second in tackles and first in tackles. Isaiah Simmons is kind of turning into what everyone thought he was going to be coming out of college. I think this year he scares me. I mean, he's a good player. But at the same token, Kyler Murray, I watched him throw a pick 6 last week against the Vikings. Like, I mean, the guy isn't perfect either, right? So, yeah, he has all those touchdowns, but he also had a pick 6. So, you know, we'll see what happens. It's the NFL. You never know. If there's one thing I know about the NFL, whatever you think is going to happen is not going to happen.
You know, it's so funny, like this year, as like this time last year, like I think this time last year, what the Jags were going on Thursday Night Football, we were 1-2, and I was just not excited for the season anymore. But now, like, I'm legitimately so excited for Sunday. I know we're probably gonna get smoked, and that's because we have Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? We have this guy, we can see him grow. We have Urban Meyer. You know what I mean? I'm excited to kind of see where this team can go. I know, like, you know, if we're lucky, we might be 5-12, but you know, I'm okay with that, man. I want to see improvement. I want to, you know, really show see what the bright spots, see what the bad spots are on this team are. Then, you know, next offseason, just kind of attack it. But, you know, this season it's all about Trevor Lawrence. We'll see how he progresses. Hopefully we can get some fun wins. You know what I mean? Maybe we can, you know, pull off a couple upsets. Maybe we can, you know, split with the Titans and maybe even split with the Colts. Maybe we can go out there to the West Coast and beat the Rams or the Seahawks. You know what I mean? I think there's going to be some fun stuff in store. And, you know, we have the guy under center. So let's just, you know, we can look back on this 10 years from now and say, remember when Trevor Lawrence had 32 interceptions his rookie year? I think right now he's on pace for like over 40 picks, which, you know, it could be tough if he reaches that point.
I mean, I'm always the person that's like going against the opinion of the general Jags fans, and I just can't help it. But I have no problem with Trevor Lawrence getting all the throws. Like, I mean, James Robinson's good, but I mean, I think this offensive line does a better job run blocking than people give them credit for. I think they're just terrible in pass blocking.
They do better. The offensive line, I think, is better than people think.
Well, in run block, I think in pass blocking, there's just some major issues on the right side, and Cam Robinson. Cam Robinson's not very good, but I think our interior is good at run blocking. I guess that's probably the best way to put it. But I'm okay with Trevor throwing the ball a bunch of 51 times. You got a rookie quarterback. He's the future of this franchise. James Robinson is what James Robinson is. We're not making the playoffs this year, so let's throw the ball. Let's have Trevor throw it 1 billion times. Great. He's going to learn from every single throw. He's going to be able to watch film of himself throwing the ball and making decisions and reading NFL defenses. I don't care if James Robinson gets 5 more touches. And I know people are like mad about that because they like James Robinson and they want him to win. But teams, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, let Trevor throw. I mean, if we're trying to make the playoffs, yeah, let's get a balanced offense. Let's do everything we're going to do. But this year, dude, no one's thinking we're winning the Super Bowl this year. This year is all about Trevor. Let Trevor throw, develop Trevor, and then next year when we bring in an actual skill position players, then we can worry about balancing the run and the pass.
Steve Boston with another $5 donation. He's our draft insider, man. He studies up. He says the best thing to look forward to is picking top 3, getting Kayvon Thibodeau in next year's draft to go with Allen.
We're 100% getting Kayvon Thibodeau. I posted about this on Twitter. 100%. Our D line is going to be nasty. We bring in a defensive tackle free agency. Game over,
dude. That would be if we can get another premier edge rusher, dude. You can't be a great defense if you don't have 2 good edge rushers. And I think right now, like, we have some solid pieces. I mean, every team needs a Roy Robertson Harris. We kind of have that. Like, you know, every team needs a number 3, 3 or 4, defensive end with like DeJuan Smoot. A lot of teams had that. But, the great teams, they have 2 great pass rushers. As much as we'd want to go maybe like, wide receiver or something there, like, that's why I kind of think like maybe wide receiver, maybe we had to dip into like the free agency market, or, see if a team, maybe a team's not looking to sign a wide receiver and he's going into the last year of his contract, maybe like a sign and trade type of thing. I don't know, but yeah, we have to figure out a way to bring in an edge rusher, a premier edge rusher, as well as like a premier wide receiver. Those are the two things we have to get next year.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we're young in the secondary, but I think we could do some work there. But that's what I was talking about, is like having good players makes everyone better. Like Dwan Smoot isn't a very good player by himself. But if we had Thibodeau and Josh Allen on the D-line, and then he comes out there in like a lightning package, or he comes in as an interior player, I mean, that's how you make a play. When you got two monsters next to you and you just have to beat one guy, you blow up a screen, you get a tackle for loss, you hit the quarterback on his blind side. Like, that's how players' games get elevated by talent around them. So bringing a guy like that, Thibodeau, oh, dude, I would be so pumped if that's how it worked out. I love D-line. I love defense. Like, I think Urban does too.
Yeah. But first, I do got to say we got 15 games left, so we're gonna take a step back from draft talk for now. I know it's hard.
Sorry.
I know it's hard. We're over here like, man, this Sunday but we're getting Kevin Thibodeau. That's just that's just us, man. Our favorite month of the year. Our favorite month of the year is April, and I hope that changes one day. But David Bryan with a loaded question. What will it take for the Jaguars to get a winning season? Well, I'll go first. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence has to be who we think he is. That's really number one. We have to figure out an identity for this offense. Like right now, Darrell Bevel brought in his offense, but it just doesn't seem like much of an Urban Meyer offense right now. And I think there's going to be a lot that needs to be changed with it maybe next year. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't seem like this is the offense that we need to run, in the future. So that's a thing. Got to get the premier or premier wide receiver, got to bring another guy in. And obviously it's going to be a big need with DJ Chark and hitting free agency, and, Marvin Jones only on a 2-year deal. So you don't really have a lot locked up there. I'm not as, with the terms of the tight end, I don't know. I don't really care as much as other people do about that. And then when it comes to the defensive side, get the premier edge rusher, then just, fill in the weak spots. I mean, I think we're going to need a new middle linebacker to replace Damian Wilson. Shaquille Griffin, I don't know what's going on with him. That needs to get better. We have a couple young guys, that are very early on in their rookie deals with Tyson Campbell and CJ Henderson. So maybe they phase that part out. But and overall, we just need to keep playing as a team together and just get more games, get more experience on our belts to kind of figure out who we are.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say what you just said in a much shorter version. We need an infusion of talent. We just need good players on this team. It's that simple. I mean, there's a reason why we have the most cap room of any team. Combine that with our draft picks not working out most of the time, and there's no doubt this roster is not good. So you got to hit on your draft picks, and you have to sign free agents that are good. Shaq Griffin, one of our biggest free agents we signed, is not good. It is what it is. I mean, he's serviceable. Maybe I'm blind, but I don't see much difference between what Shaq Griffin is giving us and what Sidney Jones gave us last year. In fact, I tend to have better memories of Sidney Jones playing defensive back than I do Shaq Griffin. And so you can't miss on your free agents. You can't miss on your draft picks. We got to have good players. There's not a lot of good players on this roster. I know I keep saying that, and I feel bad because I love the guys, but like I said, if this team is winning and we're in the playoffs, we're going to look back and be like, oh, man, those guys were fun. They kind of held us over. But the team will look completely different in a couple of years.
Yeah, we just had to draft better, man. I mean, you see the Colts right now. The Colts aren't signing guys from other teams. They're re-signing Quentin Nelson. They're re-signing Darius Leonard. Like, we need to be that team that's like, we don't need to go out and sign other guys because we have the guys in house. Like we just have to start drafting better. And, when it comes to this year's draft class, I don't know what to make of it because Walker Little's inactive, Jordan Smith's inactive. Like, obviously ETN got out with injury, and like Jay Tufele, is inactive. Like obviously you would think a 1-15 team would be playing a little bit more rookies and kind of seeing what they've got. But they're not at the moment. And maybe I guess that it's just a little weird right now that, I mean, hopefully I'm going to be forever mad at the Jaguars local media for hyping up, Walker Little like he was the next Tony Baselli. And like right now, Will Richardson is above him on a depth chart. I know we need some more experience, but, I hope at some point we might, maybe toward the end of the season. I don't hope we see him because of injury, but I would like to kind of see what this guy has and how he kind of develops.
I think one thing that Jaguar fans are struggling to do is kind of understand that we as fans and Urban and his staff are looking at this team with completely different perspectives, completely different glasses on. We as fans are looking at this team from the fact that we haven't won a game in 17 games. Urban Meyer is looking at it and his staff is like, okay, we're on a fat contract. We got paid a lot of money to come in and do what we're going to do. And we're to rebuild this team. And it might take a couple years, but it's worth it. So we're not really looking at the team the same way. Walker Little not playing the first 6 weeks of his rookie year is huge to us because we've had a history of horrible draft picks. But to a team like Urban Meyer and them that are confident in him not playing the first 6 weeks doesn't concern them at all. So I just think I would just challenge Jags fans to it's hard and it sucks and it takes a little bit of like patience, but maybe look at the rebuild the way that the coaching staff is and Urban is versus people like us, which is hard because we pay our hard-earned money and spend our valuable time watching this team for decades. But the fact of the matter is they're not looking at it the same way that we are. And Walker Little not playing half of his rookie year doesn't phase them like it does us.
Yeah. And Jags for Life, member of the channel, says, we've been losing for years, still never used to it. Yeah, that's true. It's just funny because like if I did this live stream on Monday, I would have been so pissed off. I would have been going off about this, and that. But now it's like, Thursday, it's like, oh, it's cool. Everything's okay. We're going to be okay. But like, man, when it's going on, it sucks, man. It sucks watching this team just lose all the time. And I don't know. It's like, I mean, hopefully it gets better one day. But, like I always say, man, like all this losing is going to make the winning so much better when it comes one day. Because
just ask the Cubs. Ask the Cubs.
Yeah, just ask the Cubs. I'm just, we're all just kind of hoping for better times. David says we got 3 games left if lose all Jaguar games to join the historic Browns Lions in the 0-20 club. Yeah, we need to snap our losing streak for sure, man. We need to win in the. Honestly, I was thinking this earlier. I was like, we don't even need to scout the Cardinals. We have the Bengals on Thursday Night Football. Can we just start preparing for that one?
I didn't see that tweet. That was a good tweet. That was a good tweet.
I mean, because honestly, it's like, dude, like we need to win in the worst way, and that's prime time. I'm tired of getting embarrassed not only on Thursday Night Football, but getting embarrassed on preseason, primetime football. Like, we need to snap this for sure.
Okay, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here. And I know it's a long time before then, although it's not. But I can kind of see that game as being Trevor Lawrence's come out party. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
National TV, Thursday night. Think about this. There's potential that he not only has Trey Burton lined up on offense, but also Jacob Hollister. And for a team that uses 2 tight end sets more than any other team in the league, imagine if we actually had 2 tight ends. And both of those guys are lined up out there. James Robinson, Chark, Laviska, Marvin Jones. Thursday night at Cincinnati could be the moment that the entire world is like, oh, this cat is different. And Trevor Lawrence goes off, calling it now.
Oh, man, I hope so. I just want to change the narrative because it's like you can't, like, watch any national, like, YouTube video or read any article because it's just like, should Urban Meyer go to USC? Oh, like Urban Meyer said every team is like playing Alabama. This guy doesn't know anything. It's like, dude, like, why do we have to like get this guy under such a microscope? And like if you look around, like look at Urban Meyer is like look at the teams at the top of the draft with new coaches. At number 2 overall, you had the Jets under Robert Saleh. They're not getting all this crazy heat. I mean, you look at the Atlanta Falcons, they're also 0-2, haven't looked good at all. Arthur Smith, he's not over his head, but now because we have like Urban Meyer and he makes some quotes. Like, it shouldn't annoy me as much as it does, but it's just like, come on, man. It's annoying.
Urban Meyer is the guy that everybody wanted and the Jaguars got. I mean, every time there was a coaching vacancy for the last 5 years, it feels like everyone was like, oh, Urban Meyer's going there. Urban Meyer's making the jump to the NFL. And he goes to the Jaguars? It's like the Jaguars got the hot chick and everyone's all jealous, and now they're talking crap about the hot chick because the Jaguars got him, right? So that's all it is. So I'll take the hate, is what I'm saying.
Urban Meyer is the hot chick. All right, I like that. Shout out to Steve Boston, another $5 donation. He's throwing these $5 bills out like he's at a gentleman's club right now. Says, you think Miles is lackluster because he's being made the play caller again like 2019. Revenge Burrow versus T-Law national title part 2. Yeah, I mean, Miles Jack's just, man, talk about just a roller coaster of roles he's been in with the Jaguars, man. He's been like, Sam, weak side linebacker, middle linebacker. Now he's switching to a 3-4 defense. I mean, Jaguars have asked a lot of him. But I don't know. I mean, he hasn't flashed a lot this year, but I guess, Jason, what are your thoughts about Miles this year?
I'm glad you asked me because I have a bunch. No, I'm just kidding. But I think the change to the 3-4, what the position he's playing now is very similar to what people would say he's like good at or designed to do, right? Most of the time, this defense is in a nickel, okay? So the nickel defense, extra defensive back, that's 3 linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. When you have 3 linebackers in your nickel, most of them are going to be coverage linebackers because you're expecting the pass, or like linebackers that can play in space. And that's what that's what Miles Jack's strength is. When they're expecting the run, they're in the 3-4, and that's when you have some of the bigger guys on the field. You have your bigger defensive tackles. You have, your Damian Wilson playing middle of the field, and he's still kind of doing the same thing. But what Miles Jack is doing now is very, very similar to what Miles Jack was doing last year. And calling plays, I don't know. I really wouldn't know that unless I'm in on the huddles and talking to the coaches. I don't think there's too many plays to be called, maybe audibles but pre-snap or checks or things like that. But as far as I don't think that's Miles' problem. I think Miles is a good player. I just think he's very instinctual, and those guys will have streaks of making bad reads and just a product of not having any talent around him at all.
Yeah, man, I just think, a lot of times with linebackers, man, like a lot of times you lean on the front line, you lean on the back end, and when both are a little bit inconsistent, I think you're kind of put in a weird position. And then now he's got a new guy right next to him. Jesus is king, or Jesus is king, preferably, whichever one you want to say. It says, in 3 years with Urban, this team should be expecting playoffs. It takes time to bring players that fit the scheme. Yeah, I'm hoping for, right now, we're not in year 1 of rebuild. We're in year 2 of a rebuild. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Last year was year 1 of the rebuild, right?
Technically, but the guy that was drafting during that rebuild sucked. So what year are we really in?
But the thing is, we traded out everybody, and we had a shit ton of draft picks. We had 2 first-round picks last year. Then, that's all a part of the rebuild. We traded away. We had 2 first-round picks. We had 2 third-round picks, I believe, from the Dante Fowler trade. And then, I don't know.
Would you have taken Travis Etienne?
With revisionist history, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to pick
this guy here. In the moment, would you have?
I didn't disagree with it because
you would have taken Travis Etienne.
My thing is that I wanted Tony, and now that's looking really bad.
Well, Tony was gone. Tony was gone.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, because I wanted Tony, and with him gone, it's like, okay, one thing with Urban said, like, we don't have a lot of speed. We don't have a lot of offensive firepower. And, as Etienne, does he bring more offensive firepower than the next wide receiver to go? I know Rondale Moore is kind of killing it right now, but how much of it is Rondale Moore inside of that offense where there's 3 receivers above him? Because he's a wide receiver 4 over there.
Yeah.
On the Jaguars, he's like, what, wide receiver 2 or 1?
That being said, regardless of where he's at on the depth chart, we've seen him with the ball in his hands, and he makes guys miss at the NFL level.
Yeah.
So I think that would translate regardless of the offense that he's in, he gets the ball in space, he makes guys miss.
Also, can't ETN do the same thing just out of the backfield?
I don't know if ETN is as quick as he is. Maybe he will, and that's a good point. That's fair. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. I'm just asking. I'm just saying. Like, I don't think you would have taken ETN there, and I don't think I would have either.
Yeah, I mean, I forget where my mindset. I don't know. I forget who I wanted. There was just so much stuff. I mean, I was almost. I don't know. There was just so many guys. Like, I want to draft a Tyson Campbell. I wanted to go like Freiermuth or, even go.
Going off.
Yeah, I mean, or something like that, or I don't know. It's I mean, going back, there were a bunch of different guys that I wanted. Travis Etienne was a little bit, but the thing is, I mean, this offense, with the lack of playmakers, I think we're definitely a lot better with Travis Etienne, and who knows how we're going to use him, because right now, I mean, we keep saying we need to get this guy the ball with space, but it's like there is no space that we're generating right now. So I don't know, like Rondell Moore in the Jaguars is not like putting up the same numbers he put up with the Cardinals last week. And that's just because, like we said, man, when there's multiple receivers, there's a lot more, places to kind of focus attention on. And yeah.
Well, I like Jesus King's comment, because if we were to turn this to, like, I know college and the NFL aren't the same, but if you bring a new coach into a college program, you usually give him 3 years to get his recruits in, right?
Yeah.
The NFL is not much different, maybe a little shorter time frame, but I think Jesus King is right. You got to give your coach time to get his guys in.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Caleb on Chason looks like a complete swing and a miss from last year's class, unfortunately. It's just
a fat swing and a miss.
It's just annoying, because it almost does remind me of like a Taven Bryan. It's like, okay, this guy's in position, but finish. You know what I mean? Like you saw Josh Allen last game. Like, he got a hand on Teddy Bridgewater and he didn't let that fucker go, dude. He held on to him. He didn't I mean, he was like, okay, let me hold on to you. You're going to swing you around. And I'm just, at the end, you kind of swipe the ball out. It's like, dude, that's a playmaker. You know what I mean? It would have been so easy for a guy to let go and try to come back to him. But, he didn't do that. And, Josh Allen is really right now, the only guy, really coming in there on the pass rush right now consistently.
Yeah, I mean, he's a freak athlete, and I think he's going to be a great player. Interesting to see when he comes up on his contract, what he's going to get for his contract, because he's a guy that could demand in the free agency market more than the franchise values him. I mean, because DNs are tough, man. DNs are tough to bring back. You got to either pay DNs or not pay DNs. There's really no in between. We saw it with Yannick Ngakoue. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with him when his contract comes up.
I just want to go contract. What are you talking about? Contract? We need to hope he doesn't demand a trade.
That's true. He's a family guy though. He's not like Jalen.
Yeah, I think he really likes Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer stuck up for him, when his wife was in a hospital with a certain situation. But yeah, I mean, we had to keep this guy. I mean, we've seen enough talent kind of run out the door. I don't think we need to be playing this, this game of. I think they're going to give him the bag, and we got to start giving our players the bag, because I can't remember last time. What was it, Miles Jack? The last time we gave our own player the bag, and he's coming up on another contract soon.
Well, and I know this probably isn't the time for this conversation. I'll just kind of put it in your back of your head. Miles Jack got paid, but it was nowhere it wasn't top linebacker money. Is Josh Allen gonna demand top DN money? Maybe he's not worth it, but and maybe he won't get it. But is his camp, is his agent, are they gonna demand it from the Jaguars if he's gonna stay? That's the only question you gotta ask yourself: is, are you willing to pay Josh Allen that?
We also have to see how this season plays out, because he has a sack in each of the last 2 games.
True. And that pace, he's worth it. You're right.
And the big knock on him was he didn't do much last year. Then in year 1, he was the 3rd pass rusher, so no one was focusing on him. But now he's getting sacks when he's the only guy. So it's you know what I mean? So I think I would trust to give him a contract. Obviously, what is it? He's in his 3rd year now, so I don't even think he's eligible until another 2 years. So yeah, I mean, he's a guy we gotta just That's a big thing with the Jaguars. We just got to sign our own players, but the big thing about that is you have to draft the right players, and that's been a root of the issues itself. You know what I mean?
So TJ Watt just signed the biggest DN deal, $112 million contract. I'm not saying Josh Allen's TJ Watt, but like you said, like next year is his like technically final year. Is it a team options? It's the 5th-year deal. So the
Yeah,
fifth
it's
year
a
is the
team
team
option
option.
5th year.
Yeah. So, but I mean, players have been known to hold out in their 5th year. Like I'm just saying, like, is Josh Allen $112 million good? I don't know.
I mean, you pay. I mean, the thing is, dude, you already have to pay a premium to get other free agents to come in here.
True.
Like look what we gave Shaquille Griffin. I mean, that's
yeah.
I mean, that's the cost of business. You know, what I mean, like to get these guys in here, you had to give them a lot of money, even though they're clearly not worth it. And we've been burned, by more free agents than I can even come up with at the top of my head. You know what I mean? I mean, how many free agents have we truly hit on? Like Calais Campbell. You know what I mean? I guess for a couple years, AJ Boye.
If you can get Joey Bosa for $30 million more.
Yeah, but he's not gonna. No way he hits free agency.
And
that's one of these things where. But that's also one of these things where it's like we talk about sign and trade. You know what I mean? Like the Colts got DeForest Buckner. They had to trade away a 1st-round pick. But they had to sign him, and that's because guys like that don't just hit free agency.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So it's like with Joey Bosa, maybe we have to get in a situation like that. I don't know. I don't. I mean, I just don't see.
The first thing Urban Meyer, his first press conference as a Jaguars coach, he mentions Joey Bosa. Coached him in college. There's a connection there, man. Like there's. That's all I'm saying is like you get a guy like Joey Bosa, dude. Urban Meyer. I was sold on his first press conference when he was like, they asked him, what type of players are you looking for? He says, I'm looking for players like Joey Bosa and his brother. Those are great guys. Like literally his first press conference. And I was like, bro, this dude's playing the long game, bro. This guy is like working on it. I got my eyes set on Bosa. I like Josh Allen, but Urban's got a plan, bro. If we can get both Bosa brothers here playing under Urban Meyer with Trevor Lawrence, that's a squad.
Yeah, I don't. We have to keep Josh Allen. I don't care if it's too much money, whatever. I mean, you had to keep him around. He's your own guy. Like, if you don't sign him, you're automatically opening up a huge need. We already have him on the roster. But hey, I mean, if we want to drafting Thibodeau next year, then you really don't even have to.
And last year kind of concerned me, man, because you see elite, and he obviously 2nd year, but you see elite DNs stand out on teams even if they're the only player, and like he kind of disappeared last year. So he had injuries, so I'm not making any quick judgment calls, but like Josh Allen's contract is going to be here sooner than it feels like it should be. Those talks are going to be coming up very soon, and we have some big decisions to make because he's probably going to do free agents, like you said. You pay a premium for him. There's going to be some demand on a guy that we have to see if he's worth it.
Yeah. Ella says, my sister's a cheerleader for the Jags. There you go. Got to have her on the channel. See what her thoughts on the Josh Allen situation are.
Yeah. Why she can't get us tickets? Come on.
Yeah, come on. Maybe we can come out. What do they call the prowl?
The roar, dude.
The roar.
The roar.
There we
go.
The roar.
Come on, man.
I don't know. It's like the Sir Purr situation. What's that? What's that bear doing?
Well, Ella, yeah.
Yeah. Chef says Josh Allen not great, good but not great. I think we're gonna see how he does this year.
I'm caught with Florida boy, and I love Josh Allen, but I didn't even want to talk about it. I just want to put the pin in your ear because I see this conversation coming down the road. The conversation is going to be, is Josh Allen worth a max contract in Jacksonville? The conversation's coming. Get ready for it. We have this whole year to evaluate. The conversation's coming.
Okay, we'll see. So you filled me in on the roar information. What's that radio station that's hosted by females and on 1010XL?
Helmet and Heels.
Okay. Yeah. You're good. Yeah. You know all the different,
Oh, yeah, I'm a local guy. So
yeah, you're a local guy. See, yeah. I'm just this slappy from Orlando from 2 hours away that acts like he's all Duval till we die, but doesn't even reside in the same county.
Well, if it's not the Helmet and Heels where it's all women talking about their favorite movies, they also have like a poker show where they talk poker at prime time, 6 to 8 in Jacksonville on their local.
Dude, how much can you talk about poker? Like,
you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
I mean, I don't know how much poker changes from one year to the next, but I don't know. It's
Well, I think it's more of the fact that the biggest poker room here in Jacksonville is one of their main sponsors. I think that's more.
Oh yeah, the best bet. Yeah, I see. I know about that. I only live in, just because of that. Cheyenne in the building. What's up, Cheyenne? He said, "What's up, gentlemen? I think it's going to be a tall order this week, but only if the offense plays really, really well. And yes, I realize what I just said. Okay, yeah. So so let's break this down, man. I know for us to beat the Cardinals, obviously we have to get our offense going. We have to try to get a lead, and then unlike last game, actually be able to sustain the lead. Now you also need to burn some clock, man. I mean, we can't keep giving Kyler Murray the ball back. We had to play with the lead. We actually run well. And, when we give them the ball, we can't be giving them the ball at the 35, 40, 45-yard line. We had to kind of pin them back. We obviously have to limit the turnovers. And also, we need to keep them out of the end zone, man. I mean, if the Cardinals get 3 points every drive, that's probably a victory. I mean, I think the Jaguars probably had to put up 28 points at least to win this game. You know what I mean? That's probably what it's going to take. And that's, obviously that's a tall order. That's why I'm not going to be picking the Jaguars to win this week. And that's why, right now the point spread, I think the Cardinals are only favored by 7 points, which is, pretty crazy if you're better. But Jason, what are your thoughts on that?
Crazy, especially seeing how tonight the spread was. The Texans were 9-point dogs. I mean, the NFL, you don't see those spreads very often. If I'm a coach and I've watched Arizona for 2 whole weeks, now I've watched both of their games. So if I'm coaching against them with my 2 weeks film that I've seen, I think the best way to beat this team is to just play insanely physical. Arizona stands out to me as being very small. I know that's what they're designed to be, from their receivers to their quarterback to their offensive linemen. They just look small in offense. AJ Green's got some size, but Christian Kirk was smaller than I thought he was. I thought he was bigger in my mind. DeAndre Hopkins is pretty light. Rondale Moore is very small. Chris Edmonds is not very big. I thought he was bigger too. Like, this is a pretty small team. I think if you come out and play physical, you can maybe create some turnovers via fumbles, or, I'd never wish for injuries, but whenever you play really small people in the NFL, you're risking injuries, right? So if something like that were to happen, then I think the Jags could have a chance. And they just look very small. And when you see a team that's very small, the answer to that is to play physical. However that looks to the coach, and I think that's the key to winning, is just being very physical.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The Jaguars, when it comes to the defensive backfield, they really try to get physical guys. You know what I mean? CJ Henderson's pretty physical. Also, Tyson Campbell's kind of working on it. Then Rayshon Jenkins is extremely physical. Yeah. And, I don't know how much we're going to see Wingard versus Cisco this last game. I don't know why. I'm a little bit of a Wingard fan. I think I'm a Wingard fan because everybody just hates his guts. And I think I kind of get on those guys' sides, as opposed to everybody who was deep throating Gardner Minshew, for so long. I think I'm low key an Andrew Wingard fan, but but the thing is, right now though, it's I think a big reason why he's playing because Andre Cisco is kind of on a rep count because of his injury, and you can't complain about that. You can't sit here and say, "Oh, he needs to be playing more because of da 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 da." You know what I mean? It's dude, he's on a rep count, and we don't know anything about his medicals. He tore his ACL last year, so. Has he been bothering you?
So I don't think Andre Cisco's ready. He plays well in tight spaces, which a good strong safety does, but I don't necessarily know if he is playing well enough in space, and that could be because of the injury, could be because of lack of experience. But the NFL game is so fast; it's hard for a rookie to step in the secondary in a league that's just all passing now, and expect him to be good enough to hang with guys like DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? So it's there's going to be a learning curve. The coaches know that. Wingard, he's just not your typical player. He's a white dude with long blonde hair who plays recklessly from the safety position. say what you want. Like, that's very not typical for an NFL safety. So, I mean, the guy has at least played a lot of football. I think that gives him an advantage. He's played in the NFL for a number of years. He is adjusted to the speed. He's a very willing tackler, even though he misses tackles at times. He's not afraid to like stick his head, crown of the helmet in there. Like, I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, just another guy that's serviceable, but wouldn't be playing on a good team. So, I mean, the debate is not a big deal to me because I think Cisco as a rookie and Wingard as a Wingard, they're just not very good players.
And how rude of me, man. I am here with Jason from Jaguars United. Haven't even plugged his channel. He's coming up here doing me some work over here. So I have his links down below, man. Give him a follow on Twitter at Jaguars United. And also subscribe to his YouTube channel, man. He does these live shows all the time. He loves to talk about Jaguars, whether it's a hype show or whether it's therapy. No, I was saying
that's my natural personality. I to be honest with you, I kind of tone it back for your shows. I really do because I just want to start like yelling in this mic, but I tone it back because I know this channel is a little more like.
I actually didn't even mean for it to come off like that. I was meaning like whether it's a hype show like we just won or whether it's your therapy where we lost and you need, because a lot of people come to me because they're like, dude, like you get me through these losses because I'm experiencing it with somebody. I don't want to be that channel because I want to win. I want to be like hype. I want to be like, oh, look, we got a Raiders fan in here. We beat your asses. But no, it's like, let's see what he has to say. Not a Jags fan, Raider fan. No hate at all. I just haven't landed on a stream. What is your guys' honest opinion so far in Urban? All I see is the trash the media says. What's the scoop? Yeah, we discussed this earlier, man. Just the national media, they just want to beat him down and they want to take his quotes and just destroy it. They see a USC job open. And Urban Meyer's going to go there. It's like from, what I mean? It's just, they want, like Jason said earlier, they want to hate on the winner. You know what I mean?
I believe what I said was it's the hot chick theory, and they want to hate theory, on the hot chick. I believe.
Yeah. They're jealous. They're jealous of the ugly guy that got the hot chick.
Yes. Yes, I've been that ugly guy. I so relate to that.
Yeah. How can the 3 end up with the 10? Well, sometimes it's all about personality.
Yes, exactly.
Or sometimes it's all about getting a lot of money, getting a lot of money from a guy with a yacht and having the long blonde-haired quarterback coming here.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about, man. But yeah, we're going to show for another 2 minutes, so we're going to head out of here. DJ Am says, not going to lie, Jaguars YouTubers over the actual team. Thank you.
DJ Am, thank you.
Doctor says Jags fans are blessed with these great YouTube channels. Oh man, you're gonna make me cry. You're gonna make these in just a little bit early. I'm just gonna throw a graphic up here so I can cry a little bit. There we go. Download Relevant, guys. Link in the description below. Watching these shows with Tommy McManus. All right, we're back.
Tom McManus wishes he still looked like that.
Yeah. I put him on here. I was like, okay, Tom, I'm gonna make you do right. I'm gonna do you right. And get you the NFL thing back when the hair was long and flowing.
Dude, I loved how he was just sipping the whole show. I'm like, bro, that is my guy right there. Just sipping, relaxing, having a good night, talking Jags.
Dude, he's awesome, man. He's super chill, super laid back. Actually, maybe he's not chill. He's pretty, he's the most fiery guy on 1010XL, and I like that.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's cool because I do like 2 or 3 shows a week with him on Irrelevant, and it's a cool little partnership we have, and we do pregame shows as well as like halftime shows and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. Alex says, as a Jets fan, it's gonna be a process for both teams. Our UCF and we will get better. We just need to keep. Dude, that's what the NFL messed up, man. It should have been like Jaguars and Jets tonight on Thursday Night Football. Both fan bases need a win. They have rookie quarterbacks. The franchises are anemic. We need to get that one done early.
The Jags, the NFL know what they're doing, bro. They have the numbers crunched down to a science. They know which shows are going to produce what ratings and what markets. We wish that game were to happen, but they know what they're doing. They do.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm smarter than the NFL sometimes. To be honest with you.
You
I
think
mean,
you're
you sit here, you see the NFL knows what they're doing, but they're calling a taunting penalty every other play. Come on, man. Do you see these taunting penalties going around? And you're gonna tell me the NFL knows what it's doing?
Okay, as far as scheduling games on primetime, I think they have it down to a science.
Okay.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the prime time. I mean, I was bitching about Dallas week 1. I was like, why does that have to be Dallas Bucks? It should be Dallas, or it should be Bucks versus Saints. You know, Jameis Winston and stuff like that. It's probably looking like a pretty good move. And
No, I
the
mean, dude,
the primetime games have been pretty good.
they're all about the money, bro. It doesn't matter how good you are. If your team can produce ratings and advertisement revenue, doesn't matter how good you are.
And people were complaining that the Jaguars only got one primetime game. You know what? Maybe we don't need any. Like,
You know what? Let's
I don't
chill.
need to. I don't need to put this team up on primetime next week and risk getting just thrashed on Twitter and being like a reason why people's nights are shitty because they get a bad Thursday night game.
That's how Andrew Wingard becomes a meme. He's going to do something stupid on Thursday night prime time, and we're going to see Wingard as a meme for the rest of our lives.
It's funny they get the bad because every team has to have a Thursday night football game, so they get the bad games out first. Like tonight is like the Texans versus Panthers. It's like, all right, they're done. All right, next week we got the Jaguars and Bengals. We'll twist that, you know, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow. All right, we'll get them out of the way.
Exactly what they're doing.
Just down the line. Be New with a $5 holla says Duval, just supporting the channel, bro, was so pissed Sunday after the game. I believe we can beat the Cardinals. You know, it's funny. Be New was pissed after the game. I guarantee you, after that game, he wasn't like, you know, we're beating the Cardinals next week. This is what
just a little delay.
This is what 4 days of rest gives to us, man. We got hope to come up with these upsets.
What's going to happen on the short week next week when we only have 3 days of practice?
I mean, we're gonna beat them because we're already scouting for the Bengals.
Hey,
we're skipping the Cardinals.
Night, Trevor Lawrence come out party.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I'm here for it, man. I'll be there for it. I'll be streaming it on the channel.
Nice.
It's gonna give me some bad PTSD because I streamed the last year's Dolphins game on Thursday Night Football, and I wanted to be laid to rest. I remember, like, I was the Sports Fury. They did a raid on my channel, so they sent a bunch of people over to like go in the comments and just like, "Oh, what's up, Sports Fury raid?" As we're like down 30. Like, I was just like, it sucks because like when you're losing, it's just so low energy.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But all right, guys, we're gonna end this one here, man. Thanks everyone for being in here. Also thanks Jason from Jaguars United for coming in here. Check out his links down below. You doing any live shows soon?
Probably. I've been doing Twitch a lot. So for those of you that like Twitch, Jags_United, I'll probably be on Twitch after this.
All right. What's the advantage of Twitch? I haven't really delved into that part of the social
I like to play
sites.
Call of Duty and talk Jags at the same time. And
that's so it's a video. Okay. It's more of a video game. Okay. I didn't know if you were doing your show just on there. I'm like, oh well,
that's just shoot people platform. In the face.
Okay. Just third or first person shootering it up.
Oh yeah.
I got it sad. I haven't played a video game in probably like 4 years, dude.
Wow.
You
must not have like violence issues where you have to like shoot people. This must be just
no. The issue is I don't have a system.
Oh, okay.
That's where I mean, it's like I don't have a gaming system, so it's hard to play video games. You know, I play the shitty apps on the on the cell phone.
Oh God. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
Clash of Clans.
Honestly, I just get scared to kind of get into the time warp. You know what I mean?
Freaking hole.
Yeah, because you know what I mean, it's just not a. You know what I mean? There's obviously better things to spend our time doing, but you know.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, it's an understatement. But hey, you guys do you, man. I mean, I sit here, you know, I do this for my hobby. I sit here and talk about a really bad Jaguars team, and it's funny, like, you know, I tell my fiance, oh yeah, they lost again. And it's like she had to like almost have a serious talk with me about why I like this team so much. Like I was addicted to crack cocaine or something.
Oh, dude. Like, red flag, my guy. Red flag. You better train her up.
Well, I mean, she's from Puerto Rico. She's not around sports.
Okay.
Like, how can he just like this team that's just like so bad so much? And it's like, I'm loyal. I'm a loyal man.
You don't understand. They're a part of me now.
Yeah, it's just you can't just you can't just not be a fan, man. I mean,
Yeah, true.
we can't all just be born in Boston or even Tampa lately and just be Champa Bay.
They suck. They
We
suck.
were born into this bad abyss, but we're gonna be in it together, guys.
That's right.
But
That's right.
thanks everyone for being here. Shout out to Bean News. Shout out to Steve Boston. Jesus is King for the donations. Also, I think David Bryant threw a donation in here too, so thank you to him. Good night, guys. And I'll catch you next time I see you. Peace.